So I'm going to say something controversial now, at least among my fellow Marxist political economists. Maybe the petite bourgeoisie isn't all bad? Now, hang on, let me explain. First off, who is the petite bourgeoisie for people unfamiliar? Well, it's the class between labor and capital. Labor being those people who need to work to make a living but don't even own the means by which to do so, and capital being those who own the means of production and thereby manage to employ large masses of workers living off their spoils. The petite bourgeoisie, then, is the class in the middle, people who do own their own means of production but still need to work to make a living. Historically speaking, this can mean yeoman farmers, shopkeepers, artisans, people of this nature. So, the trouble with the petite bourgeoisie from a Marxist perspective is the kind of consciousness they gain from their economic activity. They have a real grindset mentality, for instance, believing in the virtue of market competition and the individualism that comes with it. They despise capital, but only because it is parasitic. And secretly, of course, they would love to become a capitalist, become a bigger business, and employ more and more people. That's also why they often disdain labor in turn, because they fear becoming part of that lower class. And so, as this middle stratum of society, they are also a very powerful force in, for instance, forming the foot soldiers of fascism, since, after all, they can be mobilized through fear and hate of either class. But with all this said, I don't believe the petite bourgeoisie has to be this individualistic, this rapacious, and generally this disdainful of others. If they can grow a social consciousness of why participation in the market itself might be bad, and they can form independent institutions that are more social in nature, like peasant communities or, as we saw historically, industrial guilds, then maybe there is some hope for them yet. But again, they find themselves in a very ambiguous position, constantly being pulled towards either extreme of society, and this makes them a very volatile class. If you want to learn more about the petite bourgeoisie, there is a slightly defensive argument about them in the book you see behind me, Two Cheers for Anarchism by James C. Scott, which is a great book in general, and I would recommend it. But if you come across any petite bourgeois people, try to see the good in them and steer them the right way, will you?